This is another quick news blurb of what's going on in the world of technology. Today, we're going to be talking about a new problem that just came up recently where Microsoft has their Windows Defender, their antivirus, basically, that comes free on every computer, is blocking some endpoint, it's creating some endpoint false positive for Office updates. So what that means is, if you're running Windows Defender and you got a latest definition update, it might break your Microsoft Office install in some form or fashion. I'm going to share my screen. You can kind of see what we're talking about here. It says Windows, and this is from bleepingcomputer.com. See the URL up here in the top. Microsoft Defender tags Office updates as ransomware activity. So that means it's going to lock it down and prevent it from happening. The story isn't so much this specific case. The story really is that this happens regularly. Most recent one that was most damaging for us specifically was we were using WebRoot antivirus, and WebRoot antivirus had an update that came out that literally caused Microsoft terminal servers to blue screen and shut down. It's a couple of years ago that this one hit us, and there's been others from other software vendors since then, but that's the one that really impacted us. So what that did was it saw something in the operating system or software on these servers as a threat, and it would lock them down and shut them down and cause them to blue screen and crash. This is going to get more and more common. There's just no way around it. As cyber criminals become more and more professional, they're embedding their threats and their attacks in deeper detail. It's going to become more difficult to block and detect those. So you're going to have a lot more false positives. And this is one of those things where it's really hard for organizations to overcome these issues unless they really know what's going on and they're tracking all the latest news in cybersecurity and technology. Because when these incidents happen, your IT team, if they're not tracking cyber news, they might be trying to resolve an issue that may be super easy to resolve if they had the latest news and updates going about what's going on in the world of cybersecurity and just technology in general. So the takeaway from this incident is not that Microsoft screwed up. I mean, all the software vendors screw up at some point or another. The takeaway is that when these screw-ups happen, you need to really be plugged into what's going on in technology so that you can see it, know what's going on, find the resolution without having to just beat your head against the wall trying to solve an issue that may be able to be resolved really quickly. And the other takeaway from this is that this is just going to get worse as the protections get more and more restrictive. Those protections, like Windows Defender, have to run on top of Windows operating system, and those are different development groups. Just like WebRoot is a third party that makes antivirus software, and that's different than the operating system, and it has to run on an operating system, and it has to play nice with all these other softwares like Adobe Acrobat and whatever your electronic medical record systems, your ERP system. They all have to play nice together. And these developers, they don't communicate to each other necessarily, right? Your developers of your ERP might work with Microsoft to make sure that it's stable whenever they first release an update, but Microsoft's not going to check back with the developer and say, hey, we're doing this. This could cause grief for your software package and your users. So big takeaway, watch the news to see what's going on with technology and how it might impact your business, or use a company or an organization that does watch the news for you. And the other one is just to know that this is going to happen a lot more often, and these kinds of incidents are really hard to troubleshoot and solve unless you really know what's going on. So anyway, that's all I've got for today. That is the latest cyber technology news. If you have any questions, concerns, give us a call. Have a great rest of your week.